What's happening, everybody? My name is Scot Mendenhall. So glad to have you with me today in our video on our YouTube channel. We are riding the Flight Fin Hoosier Whisper. I like it, but I have one massive issue with it. Like, I will be taking this tire off ASAP because of my one complaint. We will share that at the end of the video, but I think it's worth noting. You're going to want to hear it. We are in a trail system in Minnesota where we're going to be doing our race. If you watch our race series on Sundays, this is us going through and previewing it. We have Lily there, Joey, and Kristen. She's the noob. She's back there. It's super hilly and super rooty and rocky, and so she tends to take that slow as we are going uphill here. And you can tell how severe the climb is on how close the front foot pad is to the ground. And then when we go downhill at times, you can see how close the back foot pad is to the ground. As soon as we come through the woods here, we actually then set up the race and race it. I can't share with you who wins, but I do ride with a golden delete because all I do is win. I think I've won 5 in a row, and we're going to make it 6 today, I hope. But the tire does, let me just make sure I'm clear on this. The Hoosier Whisper from Flight Fins is so grippy even in this terrain. Never did it slip. Never did I feel uncomfortable with it. It handled all of the rocks and the drops and all of those things. It handled it like a champ. Like, I didn't feel it at all in the feet. It was a very enjoyable ride. Maybe that has to do with I only have 18 PSI in this. I tend to like to ride my tires 18 PSI. It's a normal PSI that I put in my pint tires. I enjoy that. I think they come stock at 20 PSI if you have the stock tire on, that hardness. You can lessen your PSI and get a little bit squishier of a ride, but you don't have to do that, as we are now coming downhill and trying to avoid rocks and fallen trees, and we're going to slow up here to let Kristen catch up here, as you're going to see us just take a pause in what is a beautiful trail. This is our first time riding it. We were just out riding together, and we're like, okay, let's see where this trail goes, and let's make this the race. And so you're getting to see the course in first-person view here. It's nice and wide, so we'll be able to pass. Everybody else is riding stock tires. The Hoosier Whisper is very quiet. It lives up to that name without a shadow of a doubt. But when it comes into the woods and it comes into these trails, it's a slick tire inside the trail. We rode a few weeks ago a race on the Hoosier treaded tire for the pint, and that is my favorite tire for the pint. Like, I'm going back to that. Like, no thoughts about it. I know it decreases my range, and so that's already giving you away that this tire does not decrease our range. We haven't done the range test fully yet, but I've not felt like a loss in that, whereas the treaded tire, you do lose, consider like 3 miles you lose in range, at least was what we came up with, and that's considerable. That's a lot, in my opinion. We don't want to lose range on a pint because you already are limited in what you have. But the ride on that treaded tire is so enjoyable that it's totally worth it, as we have to walk it. There's a spot here where we're gonna have to walk in the race. A little bit of a creek running through there. Not sure why it's there, but it is there. In the race, you will see that we run through this, and there's so much more. You'll have to come back and keep watching what we put out on Sundays. I think you'll be surprised, as Kristen now has caught up to us back there, and we're just kind of waiting for her. That's what the pause is for, is she's walking it through. No man left behind around here, you know what I mean? We really value our friends, as we're going to just get a little bit of a B-roll shot here of a fallen down tree here in Minnesota, as we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, and so we're trying to shoot this video before the weekend, because once these trails get wet, the slicks aren't going to do us any good at all. And so I'm going to walk back to the pint. We're going to get after it here. There's a cool point where we pop out of this trailhead. There's an actual, I don't know what a radar gun system in this park that tells you how fast you are as a car, and then you get to see how fast you're going as a one-wheel rider, which is pretty cool. You get to see that here in a moment, as you're getting a good sample of all the root systems here And this tire is super nimble. Like, that's been enjoyable. That it carves well. I said it in our last video. The best way I can explain the way it carves is that you almost feel like you're falling into the turn, whereas the extra rad from Flight or extra rad from Float Life, it just naturally smooth. It just is this. It just feels right when you go to carve on that. Whereas this, it just feels like it's falling into it. As now we're headed downhill in the course here. This is going to be a pretty wicked race, to be honest with you, as we are going to try to push these pints to their limit. And I never know what's going to happen when I show up with a brand new tire on, how it's going to perform. However, I did have a thought on this tire from my previous experience of riding it. And there is, if you're wanting, like, I've got to make sure I put this, if you want a soft ride, this tire is going to be for you. If you want a quiet ride, this is going to be for you. If you want a tire that's going to add speed, this tire is not for you. That is my one complaint. And it's a deal breaker for me. Like, it's not fast enough. I now experience pushback at like 10 to 11 miles an hour. Whereas it used to be 14, sometimes 16 miles an hour, I would feel the pushback. But now I feel it so early, and I don't understand why that is. I don't know if I just can't explain it. I can't explain it. It is beyond frustrating that with this tire you would experience pushback so early, where you would think a lighter tire, you wouldn't experience it for at least another mile, or if not just the same. But it's just not held to it. It definitely is disappointing to me. I don't know if anyone out there is riding this tire on your pint. If you've experienced that, can you put a comment down below? I would love to know if it's me, if it's something I've done, tearing it apart, putting it back together. But pushback's real all of a sudden on this thing, and I just never experienced it before, and that to me is the deal breaker. And honestly, I think this might be the last video you'll see the Hoosier Whisper on, for the fact that I don't want to range. I'm okay to lose speed. I'm not all right with losing. I'm not. I like the speed of the pint. I like to be able to go into carves with some speed. And if I'm going to lose the speed, to me, it's disappointing. It really is. It's a tacky, like, it's very sticky to the ground. When I say tacky, it bites very, very well. Not once did it slip in that trail at all. And so that is so well done. And maybe that's some of the reasons why there's this pushback, is that it's got so much grip to it that it struggles to keep up with. And see the radar there? I'm riding at 7-8 miles an hour, and it's because if I get up to 10, pushback comes back, and it just breaks my heart. It's on race day. I need to be fast and nimble, folks. Fast and nimble. So if you want to find out who actually wins this race that we're about to start, subscribe to our channel. We're also dropping more content about other tires and other pieces of equipment that come out for your one wheel. We have the new Spectrum fender from Craft and Ride coming. We're gonna actually put that on and test it out and see what it's like. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and leave a comment down below and give us a thumbs up. We'll see you on the next one, because this one is over.